Kilauea has entered its 8th week of eruption, with ever-flowing lava, earthquakes and widening crater. Seismic activity at Kilauea volcano on Hawaii's Big Island has reached its 8th week and has forever changed the landscape of the island. Continuous lava flows are feeding the channel into the ocean, which has crossed the island, destroying structures and homes. Residents remain displaced from their homes, unsure as to when they will be able to return or what they will be returning to. Air quality on Big Island is closely monitored as sulfur dioxide is pushed into the atmosphere from the summit and active fissures. Fissure 8 remains the most active of Kilauea's fissures, spewing lava at increased rates. Some of the Big Island community gathered last night to discuss the continuing eruption from Kilauea. Ron Lowe, Chief of Resource Management at Hawaii National Park, spoke to those gathered as well as those watching on Facebook Live. We are in the 8th week of this new phase of eruptive activity of the Kilauea volcano, and we are in the 7th week of park closures, she said. The most popular areas, Kilauea Summit and Mauna Loa roads, remain closed due to safety hazards associated with this current eruptive event. Fissure 8 has consistently proved to be the most active of Kilauea's fissures, spewing lava at increased rates. In a statement on their website, Hawaii Civil Defense warned of the continuing activity at the fissure. Hawaii Volcano Observatory reports that Fissure 8 continues to be very active and is feeding a lava channel with a broad ocean entry along the Kapoho shoreline. Fresh lava is also oozing at Kapoho Beach lots. Gas emissions from the fissure eruption and lays at the ocean entry continue to be very high.
Getting an inside look at Hawaii Volcano's National Park. It closed 49 days ago as the eruption quickly made the area unsafe for the public. Army Leka Lincoln received an escort inside to show us how Halemaumau crater has changed. From our vantage point here on Waldron Ledge, you can see the significant changes to Halemaumau crater, which USGS HVO geologists estimates has doubled in size over the last 2 months and dropped at least 1,000 feet.
This is a profound sequence of events here at Kilauea, unprecedented really in modern times.
Scientists say the amount of change that has taken place at Halemaumau is staggering. The crater's volume has been increasing at a rate of more than 10 million cubic meters every day.
Even after only 1 week has passed, the scale of change is really breathtaking. We're used to looking at changes on the order of centimeters over years. Here, the scale of change is tens of feet per day in some cases.
Halemaumau crater used to have the largest lava lake on the planet. Over the last 2 months, it's drained away, fueling the ongoing eruption in the lower East Rift Zone. While scientists believe the magma that supplies Kilauea rises from the mantle in a seemingly unlimited supply, they say what's happening right now is the summit reservoir is depleting faster than it can fill.
Explosive eruptions at the summit, this really enormous enlargement of Halemaumau crater. It's really tremendous. We knew that it could happen, but I don't think most of us thought that we would ever see it happen in our lifetimes.
While geologists say there has been profound loss, there has also been an unprecedented opportunity for a better understanding of volcanoes, including how to potentially predict future eruption events.
Earthquake. As a scientist, it really is an inspirational event. This is a once-in-a-career phenomena unfolding, and we have so much to learn from this that will help future generations and other volcanology groups around the world deal with similar situations. The challenge of trying to figure out what's going on, and perhaps more importantly, figure out what's going to happen, is epic. And this is, in large part, what volcanologists are born to do.
While USGS HVO geologists tell us they do not know with any certainty whether magma will return to Pu'u'o'o, they do believe that it will eventually come back here to Kilauea caldera. Of course, when that happens is unclear. First look inside Hawaii Volcanoes National Park since it was closed. As Mileka Lincoln shows us, the difference at the summit is staggering. Hawaii Volcanoes National Park has now been closed for 49 days. Ongoing earthquakes and nearly daily collapsed explosions are just a few of the hazards that keep this area shut down to the public.
It doesn't look like we have really an end anywhere in sight, although we hope that nothing lasts forever and that we can reopen in the near future.
A layer of ash covers the otherwise deserted Halemaumau Overlook parking lot, which would typically be packed with cars and visitors. Inside, Jagger Museum itself is also empty, after park officials cleared out the artwork and relocated it to a more secure place.
The underlying theme is uncertainty. We don't know where the next earthquake is going to open up. We don't know what effect that's going to have on our park or our park visitors.
While the Kahuku unit of the park remains open 5 days a week, officials say the Kilauea area sustains too much damage on a daily basis, from new cracks along roadways to the rattling of earthquakes that could create fall hazards or new areas of isolation. Park rangers say it's just not possible to keep everyone safe.
we don't take closing Hawaii Volcanoes National Park lightly at all. These are tough decisions that are made in consultation with scientists, with our management team, etc. We know the impact on the local community, but it's truly not a safe place to stay up here. You can see right now we have ash kicking out, which is getting in my eyes and making it a little bit difficult to breathe. But that said, this is an extraordinary time. Holly Mountain is changing every day, and when the park reopens, which I'm confident it will down the road, we look forward to sharing the changes with our public.
Officials estimate the closure of Hawaii Volcanoes National Park, which is entering now its 7th week, has caused an impact of about $20 million in losses to the local economy.
Okay, up at the summit, Holly Mountain Mao continues to grow larger as more of the crater floor, adjacent crater floor, slumps inward. And this is all related to magma that's withdrawing from beneath Holly Mountain Mao and going into the volcano, into the East Rift Zone, most likely. It's really hard to get a sense of the scale of what's occurring up there. We have some instruments on the crater floor up there that show during these collapse explosion events that these instruments are dropping 1.5, almost 2 meters, so up to 6 feet in one drop. And then also they're moving toward the center of Holly Mountain. I showed you this figure a little while ago. It's a plot of the collapse volume of earlier collapses on the left-hand scale and time. Here we are, 2018, early in the eruption. Now we were there last week. The area has lost even more volume. These numbers kind of change a little bit, so it's not actually doubled in just a week. The way we do those calculations and so on, we continue to refine them, and so this is just a larger number. It's almost 400 million cubic meters of volume has been lost at the summit, and that's about 13 million cubic meters a day. So we're still losing more and more material as the magma withdraws down deep. As a consequence of the faulting and the slumping, there are lots of earthquakes. This is a map showing you the earthquakes just in the past 7 days. The number up there is about 4,400 earthquakes. If we just look at the magnitude 3 and above earthquakes, there have been about 290. And the larger circles here are the sort of earthquake location associated with the collapse explosion event. Those are the magnitude 5.3, 5.2 events. So in the past week, these have occurred about once a day. This is a plot, a week-long plot, showing you the hourly earthquake counts. And you can see that the counts vary. And the quiet time in here happens just after one of these collapse explosion events. So after the ground just drops, the volcano kind of takes a little bit of a breather, but the magma is still withdrawing. So as it continues to withdraw, it loses support of the material that just dropped. And so then things start to drop a little bit at a time. You start getting more and more earthquakes. It builds up to a plateau here and continues for a while, 12 hours or so or more, and then the thing drops again. So what does it look like when one of these events occur? Early on we talked about ash plumes forming, and some of the earlier ash plumes went up to 20,000 feet, perhaps a little bit higher. So this is a view of the crater area yesterday afternoon, mid-afternoon. Not much of a plume coming out of Halemaumau, which is located right here. And then this is what one of those collapse explosion events is now producing that you can see visibly. It's not very much. It's a white plume rising here from this part of the crater. You see it's a little colored, so there's a little bit of ash, primarily from rock falls. There's also a little extra volcanic gas, sulfur dioxide gas mixed in with that. So because we've had several of these events producing very little ash and very little height gained in these plumes, this past week we lowered the aviation color code, the sort of threat code, from red to orange, which is where it's been for the last 10 years or so. So at this point, we're waiting for another seismic event to occur. It can occur any minute. The last one occurred yesterday about 5:07, so just 24 hours ago. So the next one is going to happen anytime. Thank you.